You and Bo, you and Jasmine, are y'all outside of you two being equal in terms of being human beings, like in terms of value? Are you two equal? No, right? So if you're not equal with another woman, then you're
Damn.
not equal with another man. And I'm not equal with Darwin outside of the fact that we're our equality starts and stops, believe it or not, with our humanity. All other distinctions, our gender, our age, our experience, our skill set, there's reasons for why uh, one person will get the job, another person will get the job. In 2025, there is nothing that you can't do in terms of employment, right? Even in terms of intense fields, physical labor fields, they'll lower the standards now for women so that they can't do it. So if you want to be a firefighter, you don't have to have the same standard that a male firefighter has to do. If you want to be in the military, your mile won't be the mile of your male counterpart. You want to be a police officer, you name it. Field after field after field, by default, because you're in America, as a woman, you can already go and do that.
The
The issue
AI.
for all women, and I'll say this specifically to black women is, yes, you're right. You probably had experiences where some men that were turned off because you had a certain type of job. A lot of men, I can't speak for your personal experience, but a lot of men are not actually turned off by the job or even the type of job. They're turned off by the traits
The attitude.
that
Yep.
are often associated with those women. The behavioral traits
Explain.
that sometimes comes with women that has very demanding schedules, demanding jobs, demanding fields, is that they're highly disagreeable, that they are a little rough around the edges. They assume because I look good that I'm still feminine. Because like
Yeah, that's why she was mentioning the booty shorts. Because oh wait, I'm feminine because I got on booty shorts and I'm showing my cleavage. It's like no, the attitude. Most men have the issue with the attitude. And to the point now women are saying, I was born with this bad attitude. You should accept my bad attitude. And men are saying no. Men are saying no. And when a man says no, what do they call you guys? Can someone put it in the comments before I say it? They will say you are gay, you are sassy. Just because you're saying I'm not going to tolerate your bad attitude. It's crazy.
I get my nails done, I'm still feminine. Because my hair and I got my makeup on, I still let a man lead. Well, I always look at it through the lens, does your outcomes reflect the thing that you're saying that you're doing? So an example of what I'm basically saying is when I talk to women who are struggling in the dating market and they're saying, "Oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that," but I'm saying, but if all the men, your outcomes would typically be different. If I'll say it this way, because you kind of mentioned something in terms of you want to be perceived a certain way from men, right? You want them to still see you as soft, as still feminine, or yeah, in essence, right? And that you don't want what you do to impact how people see you. If we flip it, and this is where I think both sexes can get a better understanding of this stuff. When you all question what it is about men being turned on and turned off about stuff, what's your icks? What's your things that makes it known? I can't do this guy. I absolutely can't take him seriously. I'm not going to return his phone call. That's not my type. Whatever that list of things is that attracts you or turns you away, we have our own version of that. And again,
Yeah, but they don't care what men want. My brother, the issue is they don't care what men want. Even when we have these conversations on YouTube and things like that, they still don't care. It's more about me, 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 me. A man should do this, a man should do that. And as soon as a man says one, two, three things he wants, they call him sassy. They call him all sorts of names. So until they can care about what men want, that's the only way they will learn. Until they stop saying, oh, my standards, men are doing the bare minimum, but they can't list what they can do for a man. Until that time, it's going to be the same cycle.
no one has to teach us that.
Well, so, but my point is
Mhm.
that there is a very rigid view of what a woman is. And so I get icks. I promise I do. And I'm
Mhm.
not, again, I don't invalidate experiences. It's
Okay.
cool. like how you feel, how you experience things. I'm never going to invalidate that. But there is a very rigid view. Like you have to meet these certain points to be this feminine woman to men. And for me, and
Mhm,
the other women can agree or disagree,
mhm,
but for me, the ick normally is that rigidity and all of the things that come with it. The the rigid masculinity, the rigid like gender roles.
Why is it rigid?
I don't like, because it never, like it can never be anything else but what you all see it as, right?
Yeah, but you have rigidity for men. Y'all don't want average men, because average man means he's not broke and he isn't rich either. He's in the middle. That would mean you're not so rigid, but y'all don't want average men. You want men who are extremely tall. You don't want guys who are short. You don't want guys who are in the middle. You want guys who are completely tall. That's rigidity, right? You don't want a guy who's going to take you to a coffee date. You want him expensive date. That's rigidity. So y'all have standards that are rigid for men. Even when it comes to masculinity or a man being a leader, you don't want him to just be a leader on Monday to Wednesday. No, you want him to be a leader all the way through. And the moment he's not a leader, or what you consider a leader is, when it comes to providing and, buying you flowers and calling you every day, when he doesn't do those things, those rigid things, you don't want him. But once men say, I want a woman who's feminine all the time, you call it controlling. So, ma'am, let's be honest. You guys have rigid standards for men as well.
Like you're
mhm.
not allowing people to just be people. Like women are not these bullet point things. You cannot list what a feminine woman is because it looks different.
We live
And
in a
it should
society.
look different, just like men in their masculinity can
Mhm.
look different.
We
Bo, I
allow
have a
you to
question.
choose.
Sorry, Darn. Bo, I have a question for you, and I hope that this question will illustrate the direction I'm going in.
Okay.
Who do you think has more prerequisites or standards in order for them to be satisfied and interested in order to date the opposite sex?
She's gonna lie. Look at her lying. Look at her lying.
Who got the higher? Who has the much longer list of
That's an easy
expectations
question.
that the opposite sex has to meet
She's gonna lie. Look at her me thinking about
in
it.
terms of requirements?
Okay. If we're talking about in society,
Damn.
then I guess it has to be women.
You
Okay,
It
guess.
has to be.
so
That's an easy answer.
of the
Let's say
few
something
things, so
real fast.
hold on, just 1 second. So just to clarify, there's actually very few things that men are actually looking for and to satisfy. And I think our standards have had to go down every decade in order for us to be able to still find a suitable partner.
Not mine.
So what
Uh,
I'm suggesting is rather than trying to demonize women with their lengthy list of prerequisites. So for instance, if you don't want to if you feel like you don't want men to be so rigid with their viewpoints, I'm not going to shame women that want a man that's taller than them. I'm never going to shame women that want a man that's not weaker than them. I'm never going to shame I'm never going to shame women that don't want to be with men that they don't feel safe with and that he feel like that he can't protect them. So rather than being like, well, you just need to change that. No, that's what you you can't go through 10,000 years of evolutionary psychology, or sorry, evolutionary biology, and know that who you are and how you've been shaped to be, there's actually certain natural inclinations of what you no one has to no one had to teach you that you may have felt safer with a man that you weren't looking down on.
Mm.
That's just a hardwired in you. So remember what I mentioned about that blank slate theory thing? A blank slate theorist will have issues with the opposite sex's stances of what they're attracted to that they feel they're not measuring up to.
Facts. Most men have learned the truth is most women want providers. That is the truth, guys. Now, I know some women want millionaires and they think if a man doesn't own his own company, he's not a provider and things like that. If a man is not willing to take her to a $1,000 dinner date, he's not a provider. I get it. Those are ridiculous. But guys, if we're going to be honest, we know most women, in fact, probably 100% of women, if they had a choice, they would pick up a guy who's going to provide over a man who's not going to provide. That is the truth. Men deal with that statistic. They know the truth of that matter, right? But the issue is the things men really want, women don't acknowledge. They instead call men sassy. So I think that's what he's trying to explain.
So when you hear these men